You've heard it everywhere. We're in an AI gold rush. But you know what? Today, we're not going to chase the gold. Nope, we're going after the picks and the shovels, that hidden and maybe, just maybe, much more profitable side of this whole boom. So let's dig in. Okay, let's just get real for a second right off the bat. While everyone and the brother is trying to build the next flashy AI application, the source for this explainer points out a pretty brutal truth. Most of these companies just won't make it. We're talking an 18-month lifespan. It is a high-burn, high-failure game. So that begs the question, right? If building the next ChatGPT is basically like buying a lottery ticket, where's the real money hiding? Where are the safer, more durable profits in this whole tech revolution? Well, that's exactly what we're about to find out. To find those opportunities, we're going to need a map. So we'll be using this 6-tier framework to break down the entire AI economy from the ground up, literally from the most fundamental layer all the way to the apps on your phone. This is how we find our edge. Let's start at the absolute bottom, Tier 0, energy. It's so easy to forget this part, but AI runs on electricity, a massive amount of it. This is the absolute bedrock of the entire AI stack. Without it, nothing else works. And the amount of energy we're talking about is just staggering. Think about this. By 2030, data centers are projected to use more electricity than entire countries. The smart play here isn't just buying stock in a power company. It's in all the service businesses that support this infrastructure. Companies like Hanley Energy, for example, who specialize in actually building the data centers that house all this power. All right, moving one step up the stack, we get to Tier 1, the hardware. This is all about the chips and the massive factories, or fabs, where they're made. This is basically the global arms race for computing power. And yeah, you've heard the big names, like NVIDIA. But again, we're looking past just buying stock. The real picks and shovels opportunity is in servicing these multi-billion-dollar facilities. I mean, these places are unbelievably complex. They need constant, super specialized maintenance. Think about the companies that handle the specialized HVAC systems, or maintain the ultra-clean rooms, or even just swap out the HEPA filters. There's a company called Promera that got its start by literally cleaning these places, and now they're an industry leader. It's not glamorous, but it is absolutely essential. Next up, Tier 2. The data centers themselves. These are the huge physical buildings where AI actually lives. And the amount of money pouring into building them right now, it's just insane. And I love this quote because it just nails the opportunity here. You do not need a PhD in machine learning to get a piece of the AI pie. This boom in data center construction is creating a massive demand for skilled, real-world trades. Get this, $455 billion were invested into data centers just last year. Now, you think giants like Microsoft and Amazon can do all that on their own? No way. They need local plumbers, roofers, electricians, and the source material highlights this brilliant strategy. Maybe you start as a cleaner, but you evolve. You start inspecting for fire hazards or loose cables. All of a sudden, you're not just a janitor. You're a risk management consultant, and you can charge a whole lot more for that. So now that we've covered those foundational picks and shovels layers, let's compare that to the much riskier gold mining that's happening higher up in the software world. This slide just lays it all out, nice and simple. On the left, you've got the picks and shovels. We're talking tiers 0 to 2. These are real-world essential services, businesses with actual cash flow and demand that isn't going away. On the right, you've got the gold miners in tiers 3 to 5. These are the digital products. They have incredibly high cash burn rates and, you guessed it, much, much higher risk. So Tier 3 is where you find the foundation models, the OpenAIs, the Googles of the world. The best analogy is a massive offshore oil rig. They are incredibly expensive to build and operate, they need huge amounts of capital, and the payoff, well, it might be years away if it ever comes at all. In fact, the source notes that a typical startup here is burning through $500,000 a month with zero guarantee of profit. And then you jump all the way up to Tier 5, the actual AI apps. This is all the shiny stuff that we see every day, but there's this huge hidden danger here called key person risk. Basically, your entire business could just evaporate if one key employee leaves. Think about it. You build a successful app. What's stopping Meta from offering your star engineer a $2 million salary to jump ship? In this world, your team is the entire business, and they can get poached overnight. Okay, so understanding the map is one thing, but how do you actually use it? Let's get into a concrete 4-step playbook for how you can profit from AI without writing a single line of code. Now, to keep this super focused, we're going to break down two of the most powerful strategies from the source. One, using AI to just make your current business more profitable, and two, acquiring the so-called boring service companies that are the foundation of this whole boom. Let's kick things off with strategy one. The big idea here is to see AI as a tool, not a product. Don't go out and try to build a new AI company. Use AI to make the company you already have better. The source gives this fantastic example. A furniture company. They just layered AI onto their existing customer service and logistics and, bam, they cut their costs by a whopping 60%. That goes straight to the bottom line. And strategy two brings us right back to our main theme, buy the boring businesses. Instead of trying to create the next world-changing AI model, acquire the companies that clean the data centers, cool the server farms, or provide technicians for the labs. These are the cash-flowing, absolutely essential businesses that are going to thrive no matter which shiny AI company wins the race. Now, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. With all this hype, all this money flying around, are we just living in a massive bubble that's about to pop? Let's see what the data tells us. Take a look at this. This chart shows that pretty much all of the stock market's recent growth has come from just 10 AI-heavy companies. The other 490 companies in the S&P 500? Almost totally flat. Now, that kind of concentration, it definitely has the feel of a bubble, doesn't it? And the Financial Times really just puts it bluntly, summing up what we just saw. In a lot of ways, the entire U.S. economy is now one big bet on AI. The stakes could not be higher. But, and this is a really important but, there's a huge difference this time around. Remember the dot-com bust? That was all built on speculation, on promises of what might happen in the future. AI is already here. It's woven into the economy. I mean, it's reportedly behind 90% of recent GDP growth. And today's tech giants, they're actually profitable, with valuations that are way more reasonable than the insane ones we saw back in '99. This time feels different. So here's the bottom line. It almost doesn't matter if the gold miner part of the market is a bubble. Whether it pops or it shoots to the moon, the demand for energy, for chips, for data centers, that demand is only going to grow. The foundation is essential, and that makes the picks and shovels strategy incredibly resilient. And that really leaves us with one final thought. You don't need a crystal ball. You don't have to predict which AI model is going to win. You just have to find a way to serve the underlying infrastructure that they all rely on. So the real question isn't about the future of AI. It's about what boring, essential, unsexy problem you're going to solve.